Hey everyone, today, here with another juicy story. Today, we're diving into a tale of forbidden desire, a story titled, The Brother-in-Law's Temptation. Picture this. A wife stuck at home while her husband works abroad for 5 long years. This young woman finds herself at the peak of her sexuality, yearning for touch and affection. How can she possibly resist the allure of her handsome brother-in-law, especially when they're living under the same roof? With her husband thousands of miles away, will her brother-in-law become the one to fill the void in her heart? Stay tuned to find out how this scandalous story unfolds. My name is Jake, and I'm 32 years old. I'm happily married to my beautiful wife, Hannah, who is 3 years younger than me. She works at an electronics company in the industrial zone near our house. Hannah is a kind and gentle woman, the eldest daughter in her family with 2 younger sisters. She's about 5 feet 5 inches and weighs around 167 pounds. She's got a sweet and curvy figure, maybe a little on the heavier side, but with nice curves. Our married life was pretty good, even in the bedroom, though there were nights when it felt like a weight was crushing me, and only when I woke up did I realize it was my beloved wife. I'd just chuckle to myself and roll over. Things started to change after our second child was born. It seems her desire for intimacy dwindled, not like before. It might be the stress from her job. She was recently promoted to supervisor and works 12-hour days, plus taking care of the kids and the house. She's constantly tired and sleep deprived. These days we barely last 5 minutes before, well, let's just say it's like trying to make love in a desert. I'm starting to feel unsatisfied, perhaps my needs are a bit high. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm about 5 feet 9, weigh around 163 pounds. Just a bit lighter than my wife. I sell sports equipment for a living, but it's more than just a job, it's my passion. We've been working hard, saved up, and managed to buy a plot of land to build our house in the city. One evening, we were lying in bed, chatting, when Hannah suddenly brought up her younger sister, Lily. Jake, poor Lily, her life is so miserable. I turned to her, really? Why? What happened? It's that good-for-nothing husband of hers, Jesse. He's a gambling addict, drowning in debt. She had to borrow money everywhere just so he could go work abroad, and now he's got the nerve to have an affair over there. I was furious for her. I laughed sarcastically, typical man, can't live without a woman, huh? I bet Lily's probably stuck at home, wasting away. How else could she cope? I mean, her in-laws are really strict, and she works almost 25 miles away, 12-hour shifts. When would she even have time for that kind of thing? Maybe you should ask her to move in with us, Hannah. It would be more convenient for her, being closer to work, and you two could keep each other company. Hannah probably sensed what I was thinking because she cut me off right there. Don't even think about it, Jake. She's my younger sister. Don't you dare do anything stupid. I pulled her close and said, honey, you're the only woman for me. You're my everything. I kissed her, but in the back of my mind, I couldn't help but think about Lily. That poor girl, all alone and miserable for years, and I never even noticed. I mean, she's stunning, and there were nights when, well, let's just say I felt a certain something in the air. Suddenly, Hannah surprised me. Honey, you know, I'm in the mood. I was surprised, really? I thought you were tired from work? Tired, yes, but also, you know. She winked, her eyes crinkling so much that only the whites were showing. Here we go again, I thought, bracing myself. She kicked off her purple panties and said, well, come on, lover boy, let's get to it. Okay, babe, I replied, trying to get in the mood. Luckily, thinking about Lily helped me power through. Gotta hand it to myself. In this department, I'm always ready for action. Afterwards, Hannah snuggled into me. Honey, I'm sorry I haven't been fulfilling my wifely duties. Don't say that, Hannah. You've given me 2 beautiful children. I'm grateful for everything you do. I kissed her forehead. Go take a shower, you'll feel better. It was the anniversary of my mother-in-law's passing. Hannah's parents live about 25 miles outside the city, so we headed over early with the kids to visit. As we pulled into the driveway, we saw a bunch of Hannah's cousins gathered around a barbecue grill. Hey, guys, go on ahead and play, I told the kids before turning back to the group. Hey, everyone, come on in, have a seat, take a break. We just need to say hi to Dad and everyone inside, then we'll join you. The yard was bustling with aunts and cousins on Hannah's side, washing dishes and preparing food for the ceremony. Hannah went straight to the kitchen to help while the kids ran off to play with their cousins. I chatted with her relatives for a bit, then excused myself for some fresh air, figuring I could catch up with everyone later. As I stepped out into the yard, the first thing I saw was Lily, squatting down next to Hannah, helping her pluck feathers off a chicken. My jaw nearly hit the floor. She was even more beautiful than I remembered. What a woman. I snapped out of my daze and greeted her. Well, hello there. Lily, it's been a while. You look great. The two sisters looked up. What are you two gossiping about? I teased. Oh, just girl talk, Hannah replied with a sly smile. Probably talking about how handsome I am, I joked. Ask your wife about that later, Hannah quipped back. After a few more pleasantries and a bit too much rice wine with the uncles, I felt a bit lightheaded and decided to lie down in the guest room. The room was stifling, so I stripped down to my boxers to cool off. After a while, I felt a wave of nausea and dizziness wash over me. I thought I saw Hannah's figure pass by the door, so I called out, Honey, can you grab me a bucket? I think I'm going to puke. A moment later, someone entered the room and set down a bucket. It was dark, and I hadn't turned on the light, so I just assumed it was Hannah. A hand gently wiped the sweat from my forehead, and a delicate floral scent filled my senses, sending shivers down my spine and, well, let's just say I felt a stirring within me. Convinced it was my wife, I pulled the person close and planted a kiss on her lips. It's me, Jake, it's Lily, a soft voice whispered back. I bolted upright in shock as she quickly pulled away and hurried out the door before I could even react. I lay there in stunned silence, wondering if she had told Hannah about us. Lily was about 5 feet 3 inches and weighed around 136 pounds, with rosy white skin and a delicate, charming face. Back when she was just 18 and still in high school, she went out with some friends to celebrate a classmate's birthday. Jesse, her future husband, was in that group. Lily was the school beauty back then, with tons of guys crushing on her, including Jesse. He came from a humble background, kind of a small-town rebel known for causing mischief. He had a tough guy attitude and had some older brother figures looking out for him, which gave him a bit of street cred. He later opened a pawn shop, did pretty well for himself, and became known as a bit of a player. That night, Lily's friends got her pretty drunk, and Jesse, being the gentleman he was, offered to drive her home, showing off his fancy car, of course. But instead of taking her home, he took her straight to a motel and, well, you can guess what happened. She got pregnant, and my wife's family forced Jesse to take responsibility. So, at 18, naive and unprepared for adult life, Lily found herself trapped in a marriage. Jess's parents were incredibly strict and traditional, making her life even more miserable. This stress led to complications with her pregnancy, and she sadly miscarried. The doctor advised her to rest and recover before trying to conceive again. But Jesse, instead of supporting her, went back to his old ways, hanging out with his buddies, gambling, and eventually landing himself in serious debt. Lily was left to pick up the pieces, borrowing money from anyone who would lend it to her so Jesse could escape to Japan and supposedly clear his debts. Meanwhile, she was stuck looking for work, but without even finishing high school, it was nearly impossible. Thankfully, Hannah was working as a supervisor at a company and managed to get Lily a job in the warehouse. It wasn't much, but at least they could be at the same company, sisters looking out for each other. However, the company was over 25 miles from home, and Lily's in-laws wouldn't allow her to rent a place closer, fearing, well, you know how those things go. Then, fate decided to throw another curveball her way. One scorching summer day, while riding her scooter to work, she had an accident. The injuries were serious, a fractured ankle and a broken right hand. She ended up in the general hospital. Our house was close by, so Hannah and I visited her frequently, offering support and care. Hannah, feeling terrible for her sister, talked to her in-laws about letting Lily move in with us while she recovered. It made sense, closer to the hospital, closer to work, and she wouldn't be alone. After much discussion, they finally agreed, and Lily came to stay with us. With her casts and injuries, she couldn't do much at all. One evening, I was in the mood for a workout. I often go for a run in the evenings and play soccer on weekends. I came home drenched in sweat and was about to jump in the shower. As I approached the bathroom door, I heard voices, Hannah and Lily chatting inside. I got closer, and what do you know? The door was slightly ajar. Through the gap, I could see a reflection in the mirror. It was Lily, and she looked absolutely breathtaking. She's always been pretty, but seeing her like that, her fair skin practically glowed. She might have seemed a bit frail fully clothed, but in that moment, she was perfect. I was mesmerized. Suddenly, my son popped his head in. "Daddy, come play with me." My heart nearly leapt out of my chest. I stammered, coming, buddy." I snuck a quick glance back at the bathroom, hoping Hannah hadn't noticed me, or my reaction. Hannah was working the day shift, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., so it was just Lily and me at home. The kids were spending their summer break with my parents and their cousins. Lily was getting around okay, using crutches. Her hand was still healing, but she could manage most things with about 80% mobility. She was helping me around the house with cooking and cleaning. That evening, I was out back, working out in my little gym area. Fitness has always been my thing, ever since I was a kid. Even now, at 32, I've managed to keep in great shape. Let's just say I have the kind of body most guys dream of. I was wearing a pair of tight workout shorts and really pushing myself, hoping to burn off some of this pent-up energy. As I finished a set and turned around, I caught Lily watching me intently. "Whoa there, Lily. Checking me out, huh?" I teased, flexing a bicep. Did I do something wrong? Was my form off? She blushed. "Oh, stop it, Jake. I was just admiring the view. You're looking good. I bet Hannah's a lucky woman." "Well, she's not complaining," I said with a wink, trying to play it cool, but inside, my heart was pounding. We sat down and started chatting, talking about work, life, hobbies, that sort of thing. I learned a lot about her from our conversation. Like how, even though she'd been married to Jesse for 7 years, they never had kids. Turns out, he had some performance issues. Hard to believe for a guy his size, but there you go. They'd tried everything, even went down south to see some specialists, but nothing worked. They told Lily it was just 20 minutes for him, tops. Imagine being trapped in a house with him. It's no wonder she felt so trapped and miserable. Our conversation brought us closer. We were more relaxed, more open with each other, sharing personal stories. I couldn't help myself, I had to tease her a little. "So, with Jesse out of the picture for all these years, surely you've had someone, helping you out?" I raised an eyebrow suggestively. "Oh, Jake," she giggled, her cheeks turning crimson. "Are you serious? I haven't done that in ages. It's not like I have men lining up at my door, you know?" She paused, her voice dropping to a whisper. "To be honest, I haven't really felt the need, not for a long time." Later that night, around midnight, Hannah was sound asleep. It was one of those hot, humid nights, and even with the AC blasting, I was feeling parched. I carefully got out of bed, trying not to wake her. She had another early start in the morning. As I made my way to the kitchen, I had to walk past Lily's room. And that's when I heard it, a strange sound coming from behind her door. Curiosity got the better of me, and I crept closer. The sound became more distinct. Was that? No way. Lily's door wasn't fully closed. It was slightly ajar, just enough for me to peek inside. The dim nightlight illuminated a scene that made my blood run cold. Lily was on her bed, alone, and she was whispering my name. "Jake. Oh, Jake." 5 minutes later, she got out of bed. I assumed she was going to the bathroom, so I hightailed it back to my room, my heart racing, completely forgetting about my thirst. From that day forward, I knew she felt it too. She desired me. Quote, that same week, Hannah had to go out of town with some colleagues to finalize some business deals. Lily got home early, no overtime that day. A torrential downpour had caught her on her way back, and she walked in soaking wet, shivering from the sudden chill. "Lily, you're drenched. Go take a hot shower and change into some dry clothes before you catch a cold," I urged, my voice full of concern. "Oh, it's fine, Jake, really," she said, trying to brush it off. "But I'm starving. Have you started dinner yet?" "I'm about to. Go get cleaned up, and I'll get our dinner ready." She flashed me a playful wink. "Actually, Jake, could you do me a favor and turn on the water heater? These clothes are glued to me. I need to change out of these wet jeans, ASAP." "Sure, Go ahead and get change. I'll grab you some dry clothes from upstairs. I tried to sound casual, but inside, my mind was racing. As she walked past me towards the bathroom, her wet clothes clinging to her every curve, I couldn't help but notice, was that red lace I saw? Whoa, Jake, get a grip. Stop thinking these thoughts. I went upstairs, grabbed some clothes, and called out, Lily, I left them outside the door for you. Thanks, Jake. I'm decent now. You can just hand them to me. I don't want to come out there dripping wet. It's fine, I don't mind coming in. Wouldn't want you to slip and fall, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. What was I doing? Last night, she was moaning my name in her sleep, and now I was inviting myself into her room? I was playing with fire, and I knew it. Lily opened the door a crack. Jake, oh my God? She looked utterly mortified. I averted my gaze, my face burning with shame. I'm so sorry, Lily. I can't, I shouldn't, I wouldn't ever do anything to betray Hannah's trust. We had dinner in awkward silence. Later, as we were watching TV, Lily suddenly clammed up. What's wrong? I asked, concerned. Does Jesse ever call? How are things, over there? It's nothing, Jake. I feel so empty, especially knowing he's moved on, found someone else. It's lonely, she sighed. It's nice having you and Hannah around. It helps, but what, Lily? Tell me. Her eyes met mine, filled with a mix of longing and despair. Jake, I've developed feelings for you. I know it's wrong, as being brother-in-law and sister-in-law, but I can't help it. Every night, when I'm showering or lying awake in bed, all those lonely, empty feelings come crashing down on me, and I think about you. I even whisper your name, in my most private moments. I've felt this way for a while now. I know if we ever crossed that line, people would judge us, and it could destroy Hannah's family. But I can't stop loving you. Her confession hit me like a ton of bricks. She was beautiful, vulnerable, and utterly devoted to me, and I was starting to feel the same way. Part of me wanted to resist, to do the right thing, but another part, the part that had been starved for so long. Hannah had been distant and cold for months. In that moment, I knew I was falling for Lily's innocence and her raw, unfiltered desire. Lily, I whispered, reaching out to cup her face in my hands. Look at me. I silenced her with a kiss, and that night, we were lost in each other. All the longing, all the frustration, all the unspoken desires, it all came pouring out. We didn't care about the consequences, not that night. The sweat-soaked sheets were a testament to the truth of her feelings, to the undeniable connection we shared. What have I done? I'm a married man, with children. The morning light brought with it a wave of guilt and dread. I woke up to see a figure standing in the doorway. Oh God, it's Hannah. I scrambled out of bed, my heart pounding in my chest, only to realize Lily was gone. Her purple panties were still lying on the floor, a stark reminder of the night before. I rushed to the door and found Hannah sitting calmly on the sofa. Hannah, you're back early. I thought you weren't coming back until tonight? It turned out she had lied about her trip. She had been home the whole time, watching, listening. Jake, there's no need to explain, she said, her voice surprisingly calm. Lily told me everything. She told me how she feels, and about last night. My blood ran cold. Hannah, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. Jake, please. Just listen. I understand. Lily's been through so much, a loveless marriage, no children, loneliness, and then there's you. Don't worry, I'm not angry. If anything, I feel relieved. If you can make her happy, Jake, then do it. Take care of both of us. I was speechless. Before I could stammer out a response, Lily entered the room, her eyes red and swollen from crying. Hannah, I'm so sorry. I'm leaving. I can't. Hannah got up and embraced her sister in a hug. Lily, it's okay. Really. Stay. We can figure this out together. But Lily pulled away and rushed out the door, leaving me filled with regret and a profound sense of loss. In the days that followed, she avoided me at all costs, even though Hannah seemed completely at ease with the situation. I knew Lily felt guilty, ashamed even. She had found a moment of happiness, a night of passion with her brother-in-law, and now it was over, leaving behind a trail of complicated emotions and unanswered questions.